Hi, welcome back to the channel, TrainStation 2. Alright, I created a 2000 plain coin cap in this first competition of this airport event itself. I was really worrying that this competitor was so strong and coming too close, so I decided to work really hard and then eventually created a very huge gap. So hopefully we can seal the deal in getting first for this first competition. As I mentioned in many videos, getting first in the first few competitions is much easier compared to the later part. So, but noting that this is a very short event, is a very probably about maybe 3 competitions. So I would say that the first competition would be the slightly easier compared to the later two. But that said, as I mentioned, all depends on luck sometimes. Even though I deliberately tried to really start late before getting into this competition or event, met with such strong competitor, and that makes things worse is I believe you could be in the same time zone. That is always an advantage I have over the other competitors, is of different time zone, and when the competition ends, it's normally ending in Singapore 8 p.m. But in this instance I realize when I go to bed the progress doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for him either. So it just means that we could be in the same region with Kuman. So Kuman could be probably working extremely hard as well while I am. So given the fact that we are from the same region, definitely we'll be fighting neck to neck towards the ending of 8 p.m. Singapore time. Probably that is the only reason why I decided to work even harder, including working through the midnights to make sure we create a big gap. So it's getting really too close, and I was always falling back to second and then climbing back, struggling to the first again. So I really decided why not just sacrifice a bit in terms of sleep, and then we just push forward by another 2 trains. And then I think with 2 rounds of the trains out during the midnight, that created that so-called 2000 plain coin gap. So that was how I made it. Apparently I think there may be still a risk that I may fall to the second, but definitely it's within first or second that I will secure in this first competition. Why is it so important to get first or second in the competitions? Because all this will contribute towards the headquarter points as well as the number of plain coins you can get. So besides getting plain coins during the competition progress, there is only one currency in this airport event, which is plain coins. There isn't something called the EP or whatever. So it's rather whatever you do in terms of the air stewardess job is to get the raw materials plus XP, which lets you progress in terms of leveling up. But subsequently, when you do that delivery to the captain's contract, giving you plain coins. So there's a single currency in this whole event itself. So there isn't like a EP that doesn't really give you anything, and that's only measured in terms of ranking. This gives you something. It's measured using the number of plain coins as well. It works in the giving you the rewards that you can claim, all these fantastic rewards. I got to emphasize once more, the most important one is the city plans, the blue maps, which I always call it the blue maps. So you can see here we are only about 100 plain coins away at this juncture, but at the closing of this video, you'll see me creating a 2000 plain coins gap that allows me to sleep better probably tonight. So this is how a train station work. There's no shortcut, a lot of hard work, and of course while I tried my best to see whether I could create more video as requested by friends here, I have struggled. I think I face a problem because I'm taking a lot of video clips in order to make one video. Sometimes it takes to about 8 to 10 hours before I can able to capture all the video clips and gonna add voice. So sorry about that. Probably I can only create about 1 video a day, but when really if I'm into a lot of information that I can analyze beyond just the gameplay, then probably I could create another video just to show you. So again, I'll try my best, as I mentioned, and then I'll try to do that in order to make more TrainStation video. But I think more importantly is the content and not the quantity. So it's really I wish to bring you the best. That's why I'm doing a lot of editing for TrainStation 2 videos. Alright, now back to the gameplay. Normally they will ask for items at a very low quantity, so you won't find ridiculous requests, because there isn't really a mapped percentage completion, unlike for example the recent Peru event. Once you hit 100% you go bonkers, right? So this doesn't have it, so it's slightly more enjoyable. So sometimes this short events makes things enjoyable by not asking ridiculous demands for items. And I think along the way, when they ask for items, since we've already prepared in all the 6 core factories, we would have majority of the items. If not, it will just take a couple of minutes to go and fetch them and create them. So meanwhile, do remember to always collect all the gold around the region, because that would need to build your gold reserves. As I mentioned in the Peru event, I got probably hundreds of thousands of gold and cash. But now you can see the amount has depleted to about 20,000 gold. So it's really important to upkeep the gold reserves by collecting them on a frequent basis. Do not ignore that, because eventually, you know, every single train upgrade costs a bomb, and if you do not have that kind of money, even you have a train parts, you can't do much. And when you get train parts, where do you get them? You get them from this event. Like you can get exchange for not only blue maps, you can get train parts. So really important, I think, is the gold, which you can't get any from this event. You can get normally in the main event itself, whereby after you claimed that legendary train, then you could use the extra plus event coins to exchange for gold. So really, more importantly, besides claiming parts, claiming gold, you really got to work on your population, but not during competition, because that would slow down your progress. What I'm trying to recall, what I've experienced in the past, is that along the way, when you progress in this airport event, you tend to have one commodity more than the other one. So it is, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's the screws that you have. You make propeller, you need 2 materials. One is the wood, another one is something like a screw. That screw seems to be in surplus, if I recall correctly, in the last airport event I played. So it's actually more important to collect this instead. So but nonetheless, I mean, there are only 2 jobs available to us, so it doesn't really matter. And of course, priority wise, you go for the first one rather than the second one. The screws are always in surplus, I recall, in the last plane event. So that hopefully allows you to prioritize a bit. And of course, that depends on whether you have that items at that moment to deliver as well. So sometimes you also got to target the things that you're gonna do to give you the maximum rewards. Like for this, definitely the engines have a higher priority to compare to a propeller, if there's a propeller, right? So because you give you 390 versus 150, if I could use the propeller to create that engine, I'll rather do that and not collect that propeller contract rewards, because with that you can actually propel yourself up the ranking chart faster. And you could bear in mind that getting an engine up created, it takes a longer time. So always prepare for the hardest one first. That's how I did it initially, and also the same reason why I tend to lose the positioning to second, because I'm focusing on the hard things to do, that I forego collecting the propeller, for example, for an engine replacement. So engine comes first, propeller comes second. And with that, managed to create about 1000 plain coins gapped, because I collected that engine and other stuff. So now what I'm going to show you is really the items that you do not have, right? So for example, now you do not have this pellet, so you really got to always try to get the items first before you send the train out for anything else. So it's really in terms of this minor details, like planning what to do next. Always try to use all your dispatcher to do planning for the items to be ready before you send the trains out, so that when you come back the next round, you won't have trains wasted at the depot doing nothing. So that's really important. These are just minor things, that a habit that you should cultivate so you can get things working. At this juncture, I'm left with 7 dispatcher because Harry is gone, and of course the 25 gems I think I spent on the addition dispatcher. I'm not going to use it since I already created that 2000 gap. Hopefully I'll keep that gems reserved for the next competition. At this juncture, really we'll try our best to try to create more items and create a larger gap. You're just going to collect all the raw materials as I mentioned before you send out your trains. So for me, I'm going to collect all this iron ore. So okay, we collected another box, and then we call it a day because we have so-called 3735 plain coins, and that should suffice to give us a good night's sleep. So here we are, still waiting for the items to come back. Alright, we managed to get a propeller up. So as I mentioned, propeller can come later, engine goes first, propeller you can create anytime later, and definitely much shorter time, about 20 minutes compared to the engine. And in the rewards chart, always do remember, spend a bit of 30 seconds just to watch that video for a double rewards. That is really worth it. Do not waste those rewards double with a video. It's just 30 seconds of your time. Do so. Yes, it is frustrating to watch lots of videos sometimes, but again, for the sake of the rewards, it goes a long way. Please just watch it and be patient. You can go take a break or whatnot. Okay, so left with 9 items to deliver there. As usual, it's really all depends on train capacity. Had I get a bigger train capacity, probably I could finish that. I thought I would hit an epic, but nonetheless we hit the common, but that's fine. That means more train parts or common train parts. We can then upgrade another train using that train parts, right? So I'm coming towards the end of this video. I do wish you all the best in getting first in this first competition of the airport event, because it contributes to points, as you can see here, and we're looking towards the next upgrade from my headquarters. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe. Goodbye.